श्याम गौरी अंगे चंदनी रंगथा, श्याम गौरी अंगे चंदनी रंगथा, चामरा ढुलाबो कबे हेरी मुख चंद, चामरा ढुलाबो कबे हेरी मुख चंद्रा, राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगला किशोरा, गाठिया मलाते मला दिवो दोहार गाले, गाठिया मलाते मला दिवो दोहार गाले, अधरे तुलिया दिवो कर्पूर तांबूले, अधरं तुलिया दिवो कर्पूर तांबूले, राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगला किशोरा, ललिता विशाखादि जत सखी वृंदा, ललिता विशाखा जत सखी वृंदा, आज्ञया कोरिबो सेवा चरणारविंदा, आज्ञया कोरियो देवा चरणारविंदा, राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगला किशोरा, श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दासैरनुदासा, श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दासैरनुदासा, सेवा विलास नरोत्तम दास, सेवाभिलाष नरोत्तम दास, राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगला किशोर, जीवने मरणे गति आरो नाही मोह, जीवने मरणे गति आरो नाही मोह, राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगला किशोर, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Thank you for the service, Mataji. Sorry, my throat is not so okay. Hare Krishna.
No, it was wonderful, Mataji. Very nice. Melodious singing. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to everyone. Pranams. Hare Bol. Just a minute. I'll just check whether Prabhu has joined. Hare Krishna, Rupini Mataji. Prabhu is joining, Mataji. Hare Bol.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Mataji. He's in some other room. I'm going to tell him.
Yeah.
He's ready. He's ready.
Yeah, please. Okay.
Yeah. Mataji, Prabhu is asking, is there any password?
No, directly Prabhu can link, click on the link, Mataji. He can join meeting.
I'm joining from my laptop. No, actually, Prabhu is joining from laptop. So,
okay.
Number to likhe jo.
Okay, Mataji. I will text Prabhu. Yeah.
It's saying that enter meeting passcode. Do you have?
Mataji, I am messaging Prabhu. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhu is joining. Yeah, Prabhu has joined already. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, pranam. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu, pranam. So I'll start with Prabhuji's introduction. So Prabhuji's name is, as you can see on the screen, His Grace Indra Krishna Prabhu. He is disciple of His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj. Prabhu got initiated in the year 2005. And since then, Prabhu has throughout been involved in services like preaching, doing dramas, and writing. Prabhu has written many articles for Back to Godhead magazine also. Presently, Prabhu is serving in India Tribal Care under His Holiness Purushottam, Bhakti Purushottam Swami Maharaj, where Prabhu and Mataji, they both go to the remote areas of Bengal and help people with their basic needs and also with Krishna consciousness. So we are really fortunate to have Prabhu over here because Prabhu can maybe share, if time permits, maybe share his experience of tribal care as well. And so we welcome Prabhu. Over to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Pranam, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam to all the devotees, everybody in this session today. Just want to get my karta. One small correction, Mataji. Actually, travel is not only in Bengal. We have in 10 states of India. Bengal,
Haribol.
Assam, Tripura, Orissa, Kerala, not Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and
Oh,
so 10 states and about 25 districts.
Haribol, Haribol. Sorry for that, Prabhu. Haribol. Hare
So
Krishna.
we go to various places. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Janavallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Girivaradhari, Yashodhanandana Brajana Ranjana, Yashodhanandana Brajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Ramadhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Bhupesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swami Niti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayane Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagara Grama Tarine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So I'm very thankful to all of you, especially Narayani Mataji, for giving me this opportunity to speak, to present this few shlokas from Shrimad Bhagavatam, the 3rd chapter, 3rd canto, 5th chapter, shlokas 37 to 41. So this is a very important chapter, and in this chapter, we seeing that Vidura is talking with Maitreya Muni. And in this talk, many important subjects are being discussed. Yeah, so we can see just a little quick synopsis of what has transpired in this chapter. I know you are doing on a regular basis from first look at this continuous to Mataji.
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
So
All weekdays.
So like you're having from Monday to Friday.
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
So the last Friday, probably the last look would have been done. Is it something like that?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Last Friday. Yeah.
So now this chapter is Vidura's talks with Maitreya Muni. We know that Vidura is Dasiputra, and he was insulted by Duryodhan, because of which he leaves everything, goes on a pilgrimage, and there he meets. Okay, is the voice very low, I am told?
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. That's what. Is it for everyone?
Looks like it's low. Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Okay.
I will just add the speaker also.
Okay, okay.
Sometimes this happens. Sometimes it's okay. Just okay. Actually, I have to. Can you stop sharing the screen, because I have to connect this.
Yeah, Channa Mataji. Yeah.
Okay, just. Hare Krishna, is it better now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Is it now audible on a normal scale?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu. Yeah.
I think I had to connect this speakers, which now improves the volume. So is it now okay? Then I can start. Is it?
Yes, Prabhu. Fine. Perfectly fine.
So I just so this is a chapter where Vidura is talking to Maitreya during his when he is meeting him, and there are many questions. Just we'll quickly go through that. So how to live in real happiness? That was one of the questions. And then he asks, Vidura asks Maitreya Muni to tell of the various Purushavtas, Virat Roop, Leelaptas, living conditions of on different planets and different living entities. Then he tells that he's not very satiated by listening to all the Mahabharata and other literature. So then he tells to describe only Krishna Katha that vanquishes misery, increases detachment, creates auspiciousness, and is the essence of all topics. Then Maitreya Devi Muni starts speaking on the Purusha avatars. And then he praises, and then Maitreya Muni honors Vidura. So here you can see the etiquette also. The chapter starts with Vidura asking question to Maitreya Muni, and then Maitreya Muni, he is honoring Vidura, the questioner. It's like telling that you are the son of Vyasadev. You are yourself Yamraj. We know the story how Yamraj was born as Vidura in this pastime of Lord Krishna. So that was also told. And then comes the very important topic of how Lord created this universe, this how Lord's creation happens. So I'll quickly move to the shloka number 32. I will read from my book a little bit to give it, because this is a very technical subject, how the creation happens. So creation happens, okay, you can, 32. So the 32 shlok, to understand creation, this is the starting point to understand from. Because creation, to me, was also a very difficult subject to understand, because there is a lot of technicalities, and the presentation is sometimes, because Bhagavatam is, sometimes we don't understand the language properly. And so here I can take it from this shloka number 32. It is said, the sky is the product of sound, and sound is a transfer of egoistic ignorance. In other words, the sky is the symbolic representation of the Supreme Lord. Okay. So you have to, this from here we can start understanding. So we have to understand that the sky is the symbolic representative of the Supreme Soul, the Lord Himself. Then what happens? Then the sky is glanced by the Lord. So when you look at the sky, we can start thinking that this is the Lord, and to that sky, the Lord glances. And this glance is mixed with the time and the external energy of the Lord. And with that, what is produced is the sensation of touch is produced. And from that is air is produced. So you have to understand like this. See, we say there's very important shloka of Bhagavad Gita, Bhumi apo analo vayu kam buddhi man ahankar. So here is the creation of the 5 gross elements. So in the shloka, Bhumi is the grossest, to less gross, to the last of the material element is the Kham. Kham is the sky. So the Kham is the Lord, which when gets the glance of the Lord, it creates the next more gross element. Then comes the Vayu. And Vayu has 2 things, the sound and touch. So that's the second creation happening. The next one is then when the sky and the air and is glanced by the Lord, then comes the next glossary element, which is the fire. And the fire has form. So now you understand, from least gross come, which only has the sound. Then there came the next element by the glance of the Lord, which was the air, that has the capacity of touch. Next, again, when the same thing is, the whole thing is glanced by the Lord, comes the next grosser element, which is fire, and fire also has form. Then next, again, when this elements like fire, air, and sky is again glanced by the Lord, comes the next grosser element, which is the sensation of taste, which is water, that is apo. And then the most gross element, that when it is, then the fire, the air, the sky, and the water is impregnated by the glance of the Lord, which the glance has what? 2 things, the time and the external energy. When that is glanced by the Lord, then comes the most grossest element, which is the earth, the bhumi. And the bhumi has the smell. So you can see the earth has the smell, the taste, the form, the touch, and the sound. So to understand that, supposing if you take a vessel and take out the all air. Air comes along with the sky element also. So then no sound can transfer. In our childhood, when you're studying physics, we had done this experiment. Then if you take the whole air out at the cum and all that goes out of that thing, then the sound doesn't transmit through that. So this is how the Lord is creating from the, so to understand in a very simple term, the sky is the representative of the earth, sorry, is representative of the Lord. When that is impregnated by the glance of the Lord, comes the next grosser element, which is the touch, which is air. So you know, when the air blows, we can feel the touch of air. But you cannot see any form in the air. You cannot see any taste in the air. You cannot see any smell of the air. So air only has a touch capacity. So now when this air and the sky is again glanced by the Lord, comes the next grosser element, which is fire. The fire has the capacity to touch. If fire touches, you burn. Fire has the capacity of form. Fire has a certain form, and fire also can take sound along with it. So the fire was produced. Then the next level, when again the Lord looks at, glances at that, the next grosser element, which is the water. And water has what? It has the sound, it has the touch, it has the form, and it also has a taste. Because Raso Mapsu Konteya, Krishna says, I am the taste of water. So water has taste and water has a form, because you can put in a vessel and just take a form of the vessel, but it has a form. It has touch. You can touch water, you can feel the water, and water can transmit sound through that also. And then when these four elements are again impregnated by the glance of Lord, which is the eternal time and the external energy, comes the most gross element, that is earth. And earth has all this capacity of smell, taste, because water you don't smell. If your water is smelly, it is that it's a bad water, something has gone, but water by itself has no smell. So the smell is from the earth. So a clean water which has no dirt in it will not smell. A smell of water means something has been added to that. So earth has the smell element, and that's how the creation has happened. And that the Lord summarizes in the 37th shloka. Can you go to 7 now, 30th shloka, which is the first shloka for today's class? Yeah. 37. So this is the Bhutanam Nabha Adinam Yad Yad Bhavyaravanavaram Tesham Paranu Samsargat Yatha Shankyam Gunan Viduhu. So for the time, we have time till 10:30, Mataji, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
So
Prabhu, there are some people who are raising their hands to read the shloka or the translation.
Okay. So yeah. Okay, then they can take part. I have not seen that.
Yeah, Prabhu.
But that you can tell who somebody.
Yeah, yeah, Ramakrishna Prabhu. Ramakrishna Prabhu?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
37 shloka. Bhutanam sabha adinam yadyad vayavya ravaram tesham paranu samsargatya yatha sankyam gunan viduhu.
Divya Mataji, you can read the translation.
Okay. Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Translation by His Divine Grace, Ace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. O gentle one, of all the physical elements, beginning from the sky down to the earth, all the inferior and superior qualities are due only to the final touch of the glance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So now you understand that explanation I gave as in the beginning. It clearly says that these are all physical elements. This are Bhumi, Apo, Analu, Vayu, Kam. All these five are gross physical elements. and Man, Buddhi, Ahankar are the subtle elements. So here, Maitri Muni is telling Vidura that all these 5 subtle gross physical elements, first is the sky and down, because first the sky was created, then then air, then water, then sorry, I lost the sequence. First the sky, then air, then fire, then water, then earth. So from the most subtle to the most gross, that creation is. But one important thing is that it always had are only due to the final touch of the glance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this creation would not have happened if there was no touch of the, if there was no glance of the Lord. Similarly, to understand in a simple way, supposing we have all, if we take Prabhupada gives in the purport, the comparison with the painter. Now, painter, you give him brush, you give him various colors, you give him sheet. But till the painter himself does the painting, all these elements are not going to work. Similarly here, all these elements from the sky down to the earth are possible only because the touch of the glance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so we move to the next shloka, shloka number 38. So somebody will read or I'll read first?
Yeah, Anasuya Mataji will read, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Ete deva kala vishnu kala mayam salinginaha nanatvat svakriya nishaha prochu pranjalayo vibhum. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Anita Mataji can read translation. Radhika Mataji, you can read next shloka.
Hare Krishna Mataji, it's me. You told me, right? Hare Krishna. Translation by Shrimad Prabhupada. The controlling deities of all the above mentioned physical elements are empowered expansions of Lord Vishnu. They are embodied by eternal time under the external energy, and they are his parts and parcels. Because they were entrusted with different functions of universal duties and were unable to perform them, they offered fascinating prayers to the Lord as follows. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. I'll give a small explanation here. And Prabhupada's purport, we can read the first line. I will read the first line. What it says, the conception of various controlling demigods who inhabit the higher planetary systems for the management of universal affairs is not imaginary, as proposed by persons with poor fund of knowledge. The demigods are expanded parts and parcels of Supreme Lord Vishnu, and they are embodied by time, external energy, and partial consciousness of the Supreme. So here Prabhupada, to give an explanation to this shloka, has very nicely put these 2 sentences. Since we don't have that much time, I am not going through the whole purport, but I just picked a few areas to highlight to the explanation that Prabhupada is giving for this shloka. So Prabhupada is telling that just like there are various ministers in the government of the king or the prime minister, there are the various deities who are controlling the various departments. And this is not accepted by poor fund of knowledge. And you can see that Sanatana Dharma has the full understanding of the various devis and devtas. Other religions just have one god, and there isn't much details after that. But here in our Shrimad Bhagavatam and various Sanatana Dharma scriptures, they also tells that how demigods are expanded parts and parcels of Lord Vishnu, and how they are acting and working under the guidance of the Lord. So I will move to the shloka a little bit, and then can you move to the next paragraph beginning? Let's read this part now. Anyone who places the Lord and the demigods on the same level is called Pashandi, the atheist. The demigods are worshipped by persons who are less adherents of the process of Gyan, Yoga, Karma, that is impersonalist mediators and fruity workers. The devotees, however, worship Supreme Lord Vishnu. The worship is not for any material benefit as desired by the materialists, even up to the salvation mystics and fruity workers. Devotees worship the Supreme Lord to attain unalloyed devotion to the Lord. The Lord, however, is not worship others who have no program for attaining the love of God, which is the essential aim of human life. Persons averse to loving relations with God are more or less condemned by their own actions. So at the same time, you have to understand that demigods, though given the various departments to work and to various areas to work, are not at the level of the Lord. So very often in the Sanatana Dharma, the understanding of the position of the Lord and the various demigods is not understood. And here Prabhupada says that if you consider Lord and the demigod same level, then you are like an atheist only. So that's why, but this knowledge is not generally available. If you move outside the scriptures of Sanatana Dharma, and those who are properly practicing and understanding the tattva, for them, understanding of the various levels of how God and the Supreme Lord and how the demigods work is just not at all understood. And there is too much confusion. But Prabhupada, one of his main job that he did was to make us understand that the Lord and the demigods are not at the same level. And at the same time, he gave demigods the right position. So at one extent, we don't respect demigods, and at another extent, some people consider demigods as Lord himself. So we have to understand. So that is why scriptural knowledge is important. Similarly, if you go to an organization and you see managers, senior managers, deputy managers, directors, chairmen, and you think all they are same, it will be completely it will be a dishonor, or it will be completely a bad behavior if you treat all of them the same level. They are different. The director and like an officer cannot be treated at the same level. Similarly, but to understand who is what takes time. We have to go through the understanding of organization. Similarly, to understand the role of God, the Lord of demigods, we have to come to the pages of Shrimad Bhagavatam. And that is very nice, Mataji organizing these programs, so that people really understand. Otherwise, they're confused. We are totally, as normal under Hindus, we are totally confused the position of everybody. And we make this big aparadh of not giving them the right respect. So here it is very important. And here also Prabhupada makes a very nice understanding that the attitude of the materialists, materialists are also praying to the Lord. They are praying to demigods. They are praying to various gods. But they don't know this. And what is the interest? The interest to get something. But Prabhupada has explained, devotees worship the Supreme Lord and need unalloyed devotion to the Lord. So there is a attitude of difference, though it might look from externally that devotees are also worshiping the Lord, the others are also worshiping the Lord, but their aim is different. So here Prabhupada is very, very clearly making us understand the various position. So we'll move to the next sloka. Sloka number 39. Who's reading?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna Mataji. Deva uchuhu namama te deva padaravindam prapanna tapo pavashamatta patram yanmulaketa yatayon jaishoru samsara dukkam bahir utkishi panti. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The demigod said, "O Lord, your lotus feet are like an umbrella for the surrendered souls, protecting them from all the miseries of material existence. All the sages under that shelter throw off all material miseries. We therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto your lotus feet." Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So here it is very important that we take the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet, and your prayers is always to the Lord's lotus feet. So this is a shown of complete humility, a complete biggest respect, and so this is the obeisance. Even the demigods are saying that.
So if you think that's why Prabhupada wrote in the previous shloka that if you consider demigods and devtas and Lord in the same level, you are a Pashanti. The demigods themselves are telling that your lotus feet is like an umbrella for all sundered souls and takes all the miseries of material existence. So basically here we can understand that the more we try to solve our material problems, the more we get entangled in that. And very nice example is that sometimes insect gets, stuck in a cobweb. And the more it tries to free itself, the more it gets entangled. So similarly, our material activities, we think that doing some more material activities, we will solve our problems. But more material activities means more entanglement. And we can see, we think, okay, there's some nice stories that there was a person, a sadhu, who had went on adding to his requirements, and at the end he forgot the Lord himself. So our material requirements are like that. Today we have a small thing. Oh, I think I should get a little bigger house to get a more comfort. Then you get a bigger house. Then the bigger house demands more time. So more time, more you have to earn more. And like that, we are adding to our miseries of material existence. So this material existence, so best thing is not to solve our material problems by adding another material requirement. Like we see, we are adding so much gadgets to our lives, and our whole of our day and the whole of our time and whole of our effort is spent in maintaining these gadgets, in making enough money to buy these gadgets. But why need? We can just forget about this material development and then spend more time in praying to the Lord, surrendering to the Lord, understanding the Lord. And that is what the problem is. Prabhupada has very nicely, Prabhupada's preaching has one very big difference from various preachers we can see today. Most of the preachers, they still are talking, other than Prabhupada, other than the Sanatana Dharma preachers, they're still talking some way or the other to increase your material comforts, to increase your material gadgets, to increase your material opulence. But Prabhupada says no. Material existence is only a cause for more and more and more trouble. It might look very nice to have something, but that is going to be a problem. Here also says that all the miseries of the material world can be saved if you just take shelter under the umbrella of Lord's lotus feet. So we move to the next shloka.
Shanti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Dhatar yad asmin bhava isha jivas tapatraya trayanabhihatana sarma sharma atma labatte bhavam savan giri chayam savidyam ata ashrayame. Thank you, Prabhu.
Tarpagavalli Mataji. Divya Mataji.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Father, O Lord, O Personality of Godhead, the living entities in the material world can never have any happiness because they are overwhelmed by the three kinds of miseries. Therefore, they take shelter of the shade of your lotus feet, which are full of knowledge, and we also thus take shelter of them. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams.
Thank you, Mataji. Pranam. So here, they clearly said that living entities can never have happiness because they're overwhelmed by three kinds of miseries. See, we have three kinds of miseries. One is Adi Bhuta, Adi Devika, and Adhyatmika. Sorry, Adhyatmika means the kind of miseries that are coming from your own desires, your mind, your ambitions, and all that. So my mind says, I want this, I want that. So we are troubling our own selves. We are creating miseries for us. And that is what Adhyatmika means, the klesha. The second Adi Bhautika means you are troubled by other living entities, like your house, you have mosquitoes, you have various kind of this. You have, when you go to work, you have bosses are bothering you. So all the people around you giving some kind of trouble. This is Adi Bhautika. So that means the misery is coming from other living entities. And the Adi Devika means the misery is coming from various demigods, excess rain. Now Bangalore this time has very little rain. And already they are predicting that this year could be tough. The rains are not happening. And so be warned that could have water problems. So that's a misery. That's a klesha. You did not do anything. You probably did something because of which is happening like that. But we have to go through this pain. So this kind of misery is always there. And nobody is free of these miseries. Nobody in this world is free of these three kinds of miseries. And so therefore you cannot have any happiness. So though many people say you do this, you do that, you'll be happy, they are only telling a lie because they want to sell some product. They want to make name for themselves. They want to make money. And they will give you all kinds of nice lectures, all kinds of products in the market. But that will not solve your problem. However, and we all have experienced that, isn't it? We all have experienced that whatever kind of this material world dangles in front of us in form of advertisements, and it is not creating any solution. In fact, it is making it worse. You go to a doctor for a small problem, and you can be very sure that doctor will make this problem bigger. So you have to keep going to him and keep spending with him, and you have no time also for your other activities. So many times we call people to come to programs. Oh no, I have to go to the doctor today. No, I have an appointment with the doctor. You see, but now you look at if you want to really see what is happening, you can understand for yourself that once you have started going to a doctor, the doctor is not going to cure you. He will say nice words, nice things, and you might be very, the doctor speaks so nicely to me. The doctor has good name. You see the nice reception they have. What kind of, do you see this kind of the medical instruments he's got? But you can, now if you think the next step, if he's got so much medical instruments, he's paid a lot of money. And so who is going to pay the money? Is doctor himself? No, he's going to take the money from you. So we have to understand, okay, I'm not saying that you don't go to a doctor, but Krishna also states that you tolerate some pain. You tolerate some difficulty. What is that? Matra sparshaastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkha agamapainanitya tam titikshvasu bharata. So today in this world, we have very little tolerance. In a small thing, we go to the court, we go to the doctor, and a lot of people give very nice kind of consultation, kind of advice. You go and tell somebody, Prabhu, aaj mere ko na thoda sar dard ho raha hai. 99% will tell, you go to the doctor, you take this medicine. 99% will tell. And you follow the advice, you went to a doctor, you had it now. You did not have a problem. Maybe you did not have a nice sleep one night, or something was troubling you, which could have been taken a little of rest. It is, if you take a little rest, you take it light that day, be careful of your diet. Most of the people around will not tell you that. Now, if you follow that advice, what will happen? You can make sure that you are forward, and what the initial problem is, now we got new problems. Traveling to that place, getting enough money, getting enough time. And so please, so Krishna says at the end of the shloka, tam titikshashva bharata. So tolerance is very important. If you have a small problem of if you have a small problem of a headache, tolerate it. Don't go to a doctor just like that. But I'm not telling that you never go to a doctor. Try to see what are the simpler ways of solving that problem. If you have some misunderstanding with some person, instead of blowing it out of profession and going to a lawyer and putting a case, you have made your life miserable for a long time. But little tolerance will help. Here also Krishna says that they are always overwhelmed with three kinds of miseries. In the material world, they can never have happiness. But only way to take happiness is to take the shade of your lotus feet, which is full of knowledge. And he is recommending that you take the shelter of them. So all those devotees who are here, we have to make a phase change in our lives, that we have a problem, run to the Lord. Don't run to doctors. I'm not saying, please don't take it that I told you never go to doctor. No, go to doctor. But before that, try to see whether the problem can be solved in a simpler and easier way. So this kind of understanding, which are very practical knowledge from this Bhagavatam, has to be applied on lives. And you can see that difference, how much then the people say, I don't have time. Why they don't have time? Because they are trying to solve their problems in a material way. So basically what we recommend is material problems, spiritual solutions. Material problems don't have material solutions. Material problems need spiritual solutions. And you can see practically those people who have led more spiritual lives, their material problems are lesser. It is a practical understanding. So the whole purport of Bhagavatam is to behavioral change. What kind of behaviors we should do so that the Bhagavatam can apply in our day-to-day lives. So that is something you can read the purport. It's a nice purport. And but I just gave a synopsis of what he's telling, Lord Prabhupada is telling in that purport. So we'll move to the last shloka of today.
Yes, Sunita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Marganti yatte mukha padma nidaischanda suparnai rashayo vivikte yasyagama shodha sarid varayaha padam padam tirtha pada prapannaha. Hare Krishna.
Shobha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Hari Bol. Should I read the translation?
Yeah, translation.
Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ji. The lotus feet of the Lord are by themselves the shelter of all the faithful. The great clear-minded sages, carried by the wings of the Vedas, always search after the nest of your lotus-like face. Some of them are surrendered to your lotus feet at every step by taking shelter of the best of rivers, the Ganges, which can deliver one from all sinful reactions. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Hari.
So this purport, we'll go a little bit on this purport. Will somebody read or should I read?
Yeah, Prabhu. Shubha Mataji, you can continue reading purport as well.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ji. The Paramahamsas are compared to the royal swans who make their nest on their petals of the lotus flower. The Lord's transcendental bodily parts are always compared to the lotus flower because in the material world, the lotus flower is the last word in beauty.
So Hare Krishna Mataji, I'll stop a little bit sometimes just to make an explanation. So you have to understand the lotus is compared to the beauty, and the Bhagavad Gita is the summary of the whole Vedic scripture. Okay, let's move on.
The most beautiful thing in this world is the Vedas or Bhagavad Gita because, once again, Bhagavad Gita, because therein knowledge is imparted by the personality of God himself. The Paramahamsas makes his nest in the lotus-like face of the Lord and always seeks shelter at his lotus feet, which are reached by the wings of Vedic systems. Since the Lord is the original source of all emanations, intelligent persons enlightened by Vedic knowledge seek the shelter of the Lord, just as birds who leave the nest again search out the nest to make complete rest. All the Vedic knowledge is meant for understanding the Supreme Lord, as stated by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita 15.15. Vedascha sarve aham eva vede. Intelligent persons who are like swans take shelter of the Lord by all means and do not hover on the mental plane by fruitlessly speculating on different philosophies. The Lord is so kind that he has spread the river Ganges throughout the universe so that by taking bath in that holy river, everyone can get released from the reactions of the sins, which occur at every step. There are many rivers in the world which are able to evoke one's sense of God consciousness simply by one's bathing in them. And the river Ganges is chief amongst them. In India, there are 5 sacred rivers, but Ganges is the most sacred. The river Ganges and Bhagavad Gita are chief sources of transcendental happiness for mankind, and intelligent persons can take shelter of them to go back home, back to God. Even Sri Pada Shankaracharya recommends that a little knowledge in Bhagavad Gita and the drinking of a little quantity of Ganges water can save one from the punishment of Yamaraja. Hare Krishna, Dandavatam Prabhuji, Hari.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavatam. So in this purport, Prabhupada, 2 very important points come out. Is the importance of the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, this is very recently. What happened is that yesterday I had a program in our community, and there was one person I was telling that all religions, they have their own scripture, very important one scripture. So then this person says, no, we not only Bhagavad Gita, so many scriptures. Why should you tell only Bhagavad Gita or scripture? So there was, I'm not going into the details of that, but the basic thing to understand that our first understanding is the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So if you would like, somebody will say, I'll read this Quran, that Quran. Okay, that is nice. And we are doing, what you're reading is Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Quran. It's actually a detailed explanation of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. But we have to understand Bhagavad Gita first. And that like every other religion have their own scripture like Quran or Bible. So that gives a focus. Okay. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that if you read too many books and too many here and there, you will be so confused that you will not know what to do. Sometimes that happens with us also. If you read too many books on a particular subject, we get so confused that we do not know what to do. And then finally, you spend a lot of time and we don't know what to do. So what is the best thing to do is to go to an expert. An expert will tell you, read this one book and you'll get the answer. So that expert is telling us that the Lord himself is telling, Prabhupada is telling again in this purport that you read Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because Bhagavad Gita is the word of the Lord himself. We know that Bhagavad Gita is the scripture spoken by the Lord himself. So it's not that others are less valuable, but for us to be very systematically, see, any knowledge has to be in a systematic manner. You cannot do haphazardly in a confused manner. And if you take all the books on the library and take it on the table and start reading, you will get confused and you will lose so much time and lose so much energy that at the end of it, you are big zero. But if somebody tells you, Prabhu, you read this book first, then you go to this and that, will help. So Bhagavad Gita is the first book we should all read, and because it is in a very succinct manner, in a very composed manner, Lord has given this Bhagavad Gita. And if you read the Bhagavad Gita Mahatmya, one of the slokas says that if you are to understand how Bhagavad Gita is concise and important, you have to understand this very simple example. The Lord is very nice in all his knowledge and all his instructions, give nice examples also. For us to understand a theory or a subject, it's sometimes difficult, but an example helps us. So what is how to understand why Bhagavad is so important is one of the shlokas of the Bhagavad Mahatmya, which is available in the Bhagavad Gita book at the end of the introduction. The one of the shlokas says that all the Vedic knowledge is like a cow. And from that cow, the milk is being taken out. Milk is being, we take the milk out. Who is milking? Krishna himself. And the milk is the Bhagavad Gita. And who is drinking? Who is the calf? Because the milk comes to the calf first. And Arjuna is that calf. So it is to understand that from the cow, the cow is so special animal because it is able to give Amrita. It is said the milk of the cow is Amrit. So Bhagavad Gita is the Amrit that comes from the whole cow, which is the Vedic knowledge. And Bhagavad Gita, and who is milking that cow? Because cow may have milk, but if there's not an expert milkman, you will not be able to get the milk out. So milking a cow looks very simple. That is, not everybody can milk a cow properly. If you don't know how to milk a cow, you will not get milk. The milk is there, but we need an expert milkman to take the milk out from the udder of the cow. So the expert milkman is who? Is Lord himself. And the milk is the Bhagavad Gita that is coming, the Amrita. And who is the calf? The Lord Arjuna himself. So that is why it is very important because Bhagavad Gita is a very, very important book that we have. And then the sacred river Ganges. We have so many sacred rivers, but Ganges is the most sacred, Prabhupada says. And a lot of people have done various research. Scientists have done research. One of the science research that said that, see, scientists want to put it in material terms. They don't understand why it is so special. But one of the scientific experts said that the amount of oxygen in Ganges River is 25 times more than in normal water. So materials will say that, okay, that's also good to know. But Bhagavad is sacred because it comes from the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu himself. So we have to understand the importance of all this Sanatan Dharma, main basics. So that helps us to understand the Lord slowly and steadily. So one small story that one time a man is competing with the Lord. Man is competing with the Lord. Man thinks that I'm also a creator. I'm also a big man, big thing. So the Lord takes some soil, earth, and makes a nice house out of that. Then the man says, okay. Then the Lord says, you also make. The man said, okay, give me some earth. Well, no. The Lord said, no, earth I'll not. You also get your own earth. So the point is that we challenge the Lord, but we take the same earth to make the house. And said, I'm a creator, but can you make that earth? So Lord says in that nice story that if you want to challenge me, you get your own earth also. So we are taking various elements from the Lord and creating something and saying we are the creators and not respect the Lord. It's not wrong to create something, but with respect that I am taking everything from you and creating something. So, and that is the kind of mentality which you had, then we are in a right understanding of what the Lord is and where we are. So I am finishing a few minutes earlier for any questions that you may have. And I would thank once again. And for any mistakes, please forgive me, pardon me, because my understanding is limited. And if anything good has happened, it is the Prabhupada's books, our Guru Maharaj's blessings, that we are presenting something which is hopefully of interest to all of you who had listened, been here today.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. No, wonderful explanation, Prabhu, of Panchabhuta, and very clear explanation. And also we got a takeaway lesson of today's class is that material problems has spiritual solutions. So we should not go to the materialist, rather we should come to the spiritualist or the guru to get the solution of our all material problems. And I'll just tell you to all the audience here that Prabhu is very busy. He is, as I've said, that Prabhu is doing dramas also. So Prabhu is busy in Janmashtami drama, but still Prabhu has taken out the time for ICF to give the class. So we are very, very fortunate and thankful to you, Prabhu. So Hari Hari Bol. Now, any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, we like to see you again. Please come for another lecture. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Surely try to come again.
Hare Krishna,
true, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You said the sky has got sound and air has got only touch, but air has got sound also, no, Prabhuji?
No, Mati, I didn't say like that. I said air has an additional. The sky has the sound. Definitely, air also has sound. It is getting added. The very basic element is the come, which is the sky, which has only sound. When the Lord glances at the sky, then an additional quality of touch also comes, and that is air. So the basic sound is there in the air, but it also has the extra capacity of touch. And similarly, as you go the next level, the next level always has the first two. Then the third level comes. Then the fourth level will have all the first three and the fourth. Then the fifth level will have all the first four and the fifth. So it goes on getting added until you finally come to the creation of the earth, which is all the 5 material elements.
Okay, thank you.
I will speak a little bit of tribal care to inspire you to serve the tribal areas, which...
sure, Prabhu, please. Yes, Prabhu.
So tribal care is reaching out to various tribals in the 10 states that I said. And our activities are quite big in a volume of big numbers. We are doing activities especially in Bengal, Jharkhand, Assam, Tripura, and Gujarat also. But these 4 states we have really been doing quite a lot of activities, which is Bengal, Jharkhand, Assam, and Orissa. And we have close to we have a lot of schools. See, we work in mainly the areas of education, then healthcare, and also in having then devotional life. So health for education, we have close to 200 pathshalas and some 10 schools. Pathshalas are basically smaller schools where the tribal people come locally and attend schools 2 hours every day. So about 200 such pathshalas, and total about 5,000 students in these pathshalas. And the 10 big schools, Bhaktivedanta National Schools, like you have seen a Bhaktivedanta National School in Mayapur, which is, those who have been to Mayapur would have seen a Bhaktivedanta National School in Sridham, Mayapur. Well, obviously, we have 10 Bhaktivedanta schools, but not as big as the Mayapur school, but 10 schools in Assam, Tripura, Jharkhand, Bengal, about 10 schools. And on average, these schools will have 100 to 150 students. So with the 10 schools, we are close to another 1,000 students, but these are like very proper, like any other schools we have. But obviously, we are a little short of those standards. So you can say about 5,000 students here in the pathshalas, which are village-based schools, and 10 Bhaktivedanta National Schools, which are like a big, slightly a township kind of area in the tribal areas. So total 5,000 plus 1,000, about 6,000 students are reaching out to. On a daily basis, normal schools are happening. And then we also host a lot of food for life programs. And we get a lot of donations from various places, even from Dubai and all that. In fact, Dubai, you're getting a lot of help, and Middle East areas, because we have all been there a long time, and we are developing our contacts here also. So we are able to give them regular food for life programs. So our intention is to give on a daily basis, but still don't have that much funds. And then we also do a lot of preaching activities. You know that everybody knows that tribals are the most, most easy targets of conversion by the Christians and the Muslims. And very often we only sit at our own seats and tell, oh, we should not, this should not happen, that should not happen. Why conversion happening? What the government is doing, and what? So that is one point, yes. But at the same time, we also can do something. So that is where we come in. We go visiting all these remote areas. And some of the places are so picturesque that you won't be able to go on your own to such places, because they're little remote also. Not all are remote. There's some remote, some not so remote. But so we can go to such places and help these tribals. See, the tribals who are still remaining as Hindus, they are so much fixed on our religion that a lot of people are converted. But those are not converted, you can understand it with so much poverty they themselves have, and so much of temptations being put to them by the Christian missionaries, they're still remaining loyal to our religion. So a little support to them in form of some education, in some of just visiting them, and some medical help. They are so much thankful to us, and we can do so much that there's no limit to how much we can do. So my request and my humble request to all of you is that if you can contribute monetarily or in any form, like visiting those places and just being going to them and being nice to them, it's a big thing to them. So that's the thing we do, and we're doing it in a very organized manner. We have various tribal care givers in these local areas. It's not that we are going sometimes, but in those various tribal areas, we have people fully stationed there who have dedicated their lives to taking care of these people. But they need help in form of Lakshmi, money, and in some kind of support more morally and mentally also. So if you are interested in various kinds of service, like a Pathshala where about 20-25 children are studying, costs about 4,000 rupees per month. 4,000 rupees, which basically is the salary of the teachers. It's like 20-25 children coming. They are coming every day. They are having 2.5 hours school. So we have one teacher, their salary, plus we want to have one supervisor, who supervise about 10 to 15 schools, such schools, because the schools are little far. It's not, you have to understand they are in remote areas. There's one school where children are coming, studying, and the other school maybe another 5-10 kilometers away. So there's one supervisor normally who inspects a 5 to 10, on average 8 to 10 schools, and goes two days to every Pathshala, like that. So fortunately, the school buildings were not paying anything. Somebody in the tribal area is hosting his own house for the school, where 20-25 children can sit. Like a big room is enough. Sometimes we are getting a school, the government school there, which we are taking the classes at the time the school is not running. So building wise, we are managing by this kind of help. But paying the salaries of teachers and the supervisor and incidental cost of stationery, blackboard, chalk, the petrol cost of the supervisor goes to his normal as motorcycle goes to various areas. So that works out about 4,000 rupees per month for every school. So with 4,000 rupees, we are able to fund one school, which has 20-25 children on an average. And these people, we tell them to give some fees. We have this tribal children. These I'm talking the Pathshalas, the 200 Pathshalas in various areas. The tribal, we tell them to give us 30 rupees fee every month, but many of them are not able to give that also. But some give, some don't give. So we still run about 3 to 3,500 money short per school to run them. So we are soliciting funds. If you take, some of you say, okay, I will fund one Pathshala for 1 year. So paying 30,000, about 3,000, 3,500 or 4,000 rupees per month. And, or you can pay in one go and your name will be written in that board. Every Pathshala has a board, like the name of the village, a name of the area. And then we can also write those where we have a lot of sponsors like that. And at the end, what we write, this school is sponsored by so-and-so. And somebody who takes the responsibility of sponsoring one school for a year, their name is given. And sometimes you get somebody gets a 5,000 rupees one-time sponsor, 10,000 sponsor. That is also good. We are sometimes you say, okay, I want to host a lunch for the children of that particular school. Say 25 school children, say something like 5,000-6,000 rupees you give. We can host one lunch for those children. If you give the Lakshmi, you get somebody to cook and feed the children. And they will prayers will be done for the person. So like this kind of services you can give. And sometimes if you are going to India on a vacation, or you're already here, most of you in Bangalore. So, in Karnataka, we don't have much tribals. There may be tribals we have not been able to reach to them. So you want to go on a visit to these tribal areas to see what activities they're doing, you're more than welcome. We can connect you and you can reach those places. Stay for your food and lodging will be free. It may not be very high class, but it will be good enough for a decent living. Wherever, if you want to go, we can arrange that also. And you can go out with those people to see what kind. See, these kind of activities, a lot of Christian people do. We know that a lot of people from outside countries on a vacation, they don't go to Switzerland. They go to some remote village in India, somewhere in Jharkhand, they will come. 4-5 of them will come. They will go, they'll bring some books, they'll bring some food, they will stay a few days, they will do some teaching, and they go away. So that kind of activity also is being done under tribal care. And you can, just for your own self, you can come. See, the point here is that it is not only money, it is your love and your being close to them. It makes a big difference to them. At least they will remain as Hindus, and you would have done at least something from that big service of saving our religion. So these are various activities you can do, and Mataji can help in, Narayani Mataji can help in arranging that, contacting us. So I would encourage you to do some service in that regard, which will be a big seva. And it is being headed by His Holiness Bhakti Purushottama Swami Maharaj, which Narayani Mataji knows very well how Maharaj is dedicated to this one. So, and we make sure that your funds are used the right way. Will you receipt, and we'll also give you what we did, pictures, videos of what we did with your money.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhu. Yes, this is a big seva which you people are doing, Prabhu. And if we can do whatever little we can, we'll definitely do it. So thank you so much, Prabhu, for giving your time. And now we will end the session here. So
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Krishnamurti Prabhu.
Mataji, please give the link for the contribution and all those things. We will think
Yeah,
of it.
sure.
Yeah, yeah. What I can
Sure.
do, I can see you the bank account number. You can send the money, and then you can give the details to Narani Mataji, who can forward that to me, and you will get receipt, and you will know how the funds were used. Yeah.
One more thing, Prabhuji, I want to add here, Mataji, if you give permission, Narani Mataji.
Yeah, sure, Mataji.
Mataji, like here, the Tribal Care Trust, if you send some donation, you get ATG, this tax benefit as well. So in that case, you have to give your name, PAN card number. That I will forward to you. That also the provision is there, and definitely we give medical help also. We have medical camps. I think Prabhu has already told. So lot to do in this area, and because of this tribal care, we are able to retain, our Sanatan Dharma in such places, and these are the indigenous people, and we are not disturbing their roots. We are not disturbing the way of their living, their language. Only thing is that we are trying to uplift their living condition, in the sense they become little more educated, so that they can work, they can come to the mainstream with us. And these people are very innocent and welcoming, and they want us to be with them. Otherwise they think that they are some discarded people from the society. So if we go and stand beside them, that makes them very happy that they are one of us, they feel. So thank you so much, Mataji, for giving an opportunity here to speak. And my Dandavat Pranams to all the members here in the meeting. Hare Krishna. Over to you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Rupini Mataji. Rupini Mataji is better half of Indra Krishna Prabhu, and they both are working in this area. They both are going to the remote areas where sometimes Maharaja was telling us, His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Sai Maharaj, that sometimes there are no proper facility of even, the very basic amenities like washrooms and all. But still Mataji and Prabhu, they both are going and living with the people over there and helping them. So very, very grateful to you, Mataji and Prabhuji. Give us time, and
so
also, and also told us about this great work which you people are doing. So very, very thankful and grateful to you people. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Very inspiring, Mataji, because we are all in such settled places where we are God gifted with all ready-made facilities, and we are getting Krishna consciousness also. So it's very, very inspiring and heartfelt also to know that there are regions like this which we need to support.
Mataji, some of the places, the temples have come up. Chota Jamira is a place in Assam where we have to travel by boat, 2.5 hours boat ride, from the main city or the main connection of the road. And there they have Jagannath temple, they do Jagannath Rath Yatra, and I was so much surprised to see they are doing Mangala Aarti since morning. They are into devotional service. They sing so well, Guru Vandana, Tulsi Arati. I was just thinking what miracle has happened because of causeless mercy of Srila Prabhupada. They never knew, who is Supreme Lord, because they would worship nature, plants, trees, whatever. But to convince them that to do Mangala Aarti or Supreme Personality of Godhead, they're giving them Bhagavad Gita. We have a lot of Bhagavad Gita distribution in these tribal areas. So I was so surprised that they wanted to do Bhakti Shastri, because every year they come once a year. We have tribal convention. So it takes place in Mayapur. Generally, it is after our Guru Maharaj's Vyas Puja, because we can retain that pandal there. And around 2,500 tribals, they come from various areas and they congregate there. And we have stage programs, and they perform their own cultural programs. They sing their tribal songs. They would perform their tribal dance, and we will have some dignitaries coming in, encouraging them. So you all can also come during the convention in Mayapur, and It's a 3-day program. And these people, they feel so happy to come and have the darshan of Radha Madhav there. So actually, it's a miracle, you know, when you go and see these people, you know, how they have been transformed, like that has really attracted me. Thank you so much. I have spoken a lot. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, when do you have this program in Mayapur?
In April, Mataji, just after Guru Maharaj's Vyas Puja, just after Vyas Puja, we have this convention program, which is for 3 days. Yeah. So,
Mataji, thank you so much. You are doing a wonderful job, Mataji. We'll see what we can do to help you all.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, Narayani Mataji, thank you so much. So, can I leave the meeting now?
Narayani Mataji, you are on mute, Mataji.
Narayani Mataji, you're on mute, Mataji.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so one time we want to chant for Prabhu and Mataji for this wonderful work of tribal care. So all of us can unmute our mic and can chant for Mataji and Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Wonderful class, Mataji. Hare Bol. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhu and Mataji both. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So shall I end the session, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.